What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report. It is time for our weekend mailbag video, so cheers to all of you guys watching. I'm rocking a Miller. We're out of Coors, and I have to drink this shitty Miller that's really old. First, though, before we get to any questions, trivia. We're going to play a little trivia on today's show, so I'll show you the question in just a moment, but later on in the video, I will reveal the answer. So get in the comment section just at some point throughout the video. Don't cheat. Don't scroll ahead. Don't be that guy. And when you think of the answer, put it down there. But here's the question. Before we get to any questions, here's my question for you. In what year was Colt McCoy the Browns' passing leader, Peyton Hillis was the rushing leader, Greg Little was the receiving leader, and Mike Adams led the team in interceptions? All four of these guys were the leader in the same year. So I'm looking for that 1 year. Let me know in the comment section. We'll give you the answer later on in the show. So just stay tuned for that. Stick around. But let's get into some questions. So I always put mailbag calls out on our community channel post here at the Browns Report. So if you ever want to be on a future mailbag, subscribe, check the community page. That's how you get to it. Miguel coming in with the first question. Appreciate the question, my dude. What is the best team to trade Baker to? That's a pretty good question, Miguel. Let me open things up with this question, though. Do you care where Baker goes? I'll give you my team in just a moment, Miguel, but I am curious. We've talked a lot about Baker, right? I mean, how could you not? When your first overall pick quarterback is going to get traded, it's going to be the number one story out there, all right? Producer Sam's an Oklahoma guy. He's put his horns down. He's a big Baker guy. To me, though, the Seahawks make the most sense. They're not rebuilding. They're retooling. And Baker maybe is a little cheaper right now than he would have been before. And also, what does Pete Carroll want to do? He wants to run the football. That's what Baker does well. And that's a sad thing to say about a quarterback. Like, what he's best at is something that he doesn't actually have control over. It's the running back's job. But I think Baker could be a good fit for the Seahawks. And that just seems like an all-around good one to a good new start for him up in the Pacific Northwest. Charles coming to the next question. What would it take to pry Ward away from the Browns? What would it take to pry Denzel Ward? I've had one too many Miller lattes. Charles, I'll say this. I think it's a future first rounder or 2 day 2 picks. I'm saying future first because chances are you're not going to get one this year just because a lot of teams are already super excited for their first round pick. And they've gotten so close to the draft. They're like, we've done all this research. Why are we going to trade a pick away now? You know, it's just a little bit of that. But also, a future first-round pick helps the Browns out a little bit because they don't have a first-round pick next year. So they already have a second and 2/3 this year. You know, balance out the well and, how much draft capital you have in years to come after that Watson trade. Or I would take a second and a third. I think those are two comparable balances right there for a Denzel Ward trade package, which I get you don't like this conversation, and I don't either. But the Browns have to pay Deshaun Watson, Myles Garrett, Amari Cooper. Half of their offensive line got extended last year. Where's Ward going to fit? Because he wants to be probably a top 5 paid corner. I don't know if Cleveland's got the budget to do that. We like to keep things light here on the Browns Report, so let me ask this question. Last mailbag I did, I said, what's your favorite light beer? This time, what's your favorite mixed drink? I'm a gin and tonic guy. Producer Sam, Jack and Coke. All right. So let me know what yours is down below, or an old fashioned. So he's just old. So let me know your favorite mixed drink down below. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're coming across this video for the first time and you're like, what is this goofy guy talking about? We're talking Browns. We get you free content all the time. You never miss a beat when it comes to the latest news and rumors. So hit that big red button and subscribe today. That way you stay in the know. Next question on the mailbag. Cam, the Browns fan. Cam, thanks for asking. What do you think about taking George Pickens, John Metchie, or Jahan Dotson in the draft? Personally, I think Pickens could be a steal. I think you're right. Pickens could be a steal. When you compare them all head-to-head in 2021, it's a little unfair because Pickens got hurt in spring practice last April, a year ago, right around now, and missed most of the season. But he was that former huge recruit to Georgia, and he's got that deep threat, huge playability. Metchie does too. I only worry about Metchie is how much of it is the physical traits, and when he gets to the pros, you can't run past everyone like you did at Alabama. And then there's Jahan Dotson. Dotson isn't the sexy pick, but I kind of like him. I mean, think about a couple other Penn State receivers recently. Chris Godwin, Allen Robinson, horrible quarterbacks in college. Clifford, not the dude. But once they got to the pros where they had a professional quarterback, look who blew up out of kind of, I wouldn't say nowhere, but took off. So I'm warming up to Jahan Dotson a lot, actually, especially because he may be slipping from round 1 to round 2. He's floating in between that range. If he falls to Cleveland at 44, that'd be an awesome pick for Andrew Berry. Coming up, we got more questions you guys asked in our mailbag, and don't worry, I didn't forget, we got that trivia answer in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to find more ways to support the channel here and, put food on my table, follow me at rumble.com/BrownsReport. That's another awesome up-and-coming video platform service. So the link's right there. It's also in the comments in the description. You can't miss it. Make sure you follow us at rumble.com/BrownsReport. Gregory with our next question on today's show. Gregory, thank you very much. Would you like a Chubb/Hunt backfield to confuse defenses, or Stefanski plan to alternate them? It's actually funny you asked this, because I was talking about this almost a year ago, right before the season started, and with a Browns friend here in Dallas, and we were like, why don't we use Chubb and Hunt more together? And why doesn't Stefanski? I hope we see more of that. Now, their actual numbers, we'll let you, check them out here. It's not fair to compare the two in terms of, obviously Chubb's got better numbers. I mean, he averages over 5 yards a carry. That's everyone's favorite little trivia nugget of who's the only running back to average that many yards since 2018. But here's my kind of question about these two cats. How does Nick Chubb fit into a Deshaun Watson geared offense? Watson likes to run out of the shotgun. He's more of a spread quarterback. That's what Kareem Hunt does well. Chubb likes to be, in the backfield with the quarterback under center, and he gets a 3-yard head start. I'm curious to see how Chubb adjusts, or how Stefanski adjusts, I think is the better question. But pick an RB for me. You want to go with Nick Chubb or Kareem Hunt? Just put their jersey number down below for who you think, I'll say is going to have a better season in 2022. Let me know which RB you would roll with, because Kareem Hunt, sneaky good. We know this. Don't sleep on Hunt. Now, let's get to our trivia answer. We're going to show the question one more time, just in case you forgot. Refresh everyone's memories. Colt McCoy was the passing leader. Peyton Hillis was the rushing leader. Greg Little led the team in receiving yards. And Mike Adams with, I'll give you an extra hint, 3 interceptions. Drum roll, please. 2011. Yep, that was 2011. That was Pat Shurmur's first season, first of 2 as the head coach. So if you got it right, props to you. Let me know down below. Pretty fun stuff right there, though. Next one. Bob Sway. I believe people are underestimating DPJ as a second wide receiver. Do you think it's worth spending more money on another wideout who's a vet, or solidify our defensive line by re-signing Clowney? Sorry, I don't know why those words are so tough. First off, Bob, you win Best Picture. Booger in the Boogermobile? Yeah, you nailed it. But I do think DPJ is a little bit, I guess, underappreciated. Now, the thing is, we have had a lot of, it's been a fair amount of, not fair, but a decent amount of time watching him, and I would have liked to seen a bigger jump last year. He also had so-so play from QB. Now, as for bringing Clowney back, yeah, I like that idea a lot. You can get some cheaper options out there. Larry Ogunjobi's on the market. He also filled a physical, so a little caution to the wind. And Akeem Hicks, who reliable defensive tackle. William Anderson, I think this is the last question on today's mailbag. So, William, we'll end it with this note here. How do you think Posick and Harris stack up against one another? Appreciate the effort, time, and energy you put into what you do. Well, you know what, hey, William, thank you so much for those kind words. I love what I do, and it's all thanks to you guys. Now, let me answer your question, because that's what you came here for. How do I think they stack up against one another? I don't think Posick is coming in ahead of Harris on the depth chart first day of spring training in August. Posick in Seattle was a bit underwhelming, and they always wanted to see him take another step and be more than a 6th or 7th guy on the offensive line. I think Nick Harris, there's a lot of faith in him. So I'm guessing the Browns and Barry would not move on from Treader if they were not pretty confident that Harris, well, sure, isn't as good as JC, but the difference of what you pay the two is too big to rectify the smallness of how far they are, talent-wise. That makes sense, kind of, right? Harris is not that big of a downgrade in skill-wise from Treader, but pay grade, yes, so it's worth keeping the savings. That's going to do it for us on today's mailbag. Appreciate all of you that watched today's show. We'll catch up with you later with more Browns news and rumors.